But 3 of my body workers told me that I needed to get to Hawaii and be in the water there, that would be healing for me. And Maui is my spiritual home. But getting there was ludicrous because I couldn't even get myself around Albuquerque. So I was sharing this with my youngest daughter, the journalist, who was then in the Bay Area, San Francisco. And I was going on about how, normally my sister Judy would travel with me, but she was taking care of her husband who was terminally ill. And so it just wasn't possible. Well, Megan listened for a while and she said, "Mother." She only calls me Mother when she's really annoyed with me. She said, "Mother, I will take you to Hawaii." So you can't do that. You just moved, you just took a new job. She said, "I'll work it out." And she did. So she took me to Hawaii, and I was so delighted to discover that I could swim because with my snorkel and my mask, I didn't have to move my head or my neck, and it was just lovely. One morning, I am sitting on the lanai, and I was reading about the chakra systems, and I was so excited to learn about these ancient energetic systems in the body. And then I finished reading and I meditated for a time. And when I looked up after my meditation, there was the most amazing rainbow over the entire bay. And I thought, that is so beautiful. And I realized that all of the colors in that rainbow were flowing through my body at every moment. They're all inside of me. Oh, that's fabulous. Well, the rainbow disappeared, and just then, Megan comes out, and I say, "Oh, you just missed the most beautiful rainbow." She said, "Oh, how great." Rainbows are not unusual in Maui. Maui is the Rainbow Island. So she sat down and began reading and journaling and so on. And I realized that I wanted the rainbow back. I really wanted that rainbow. And I knew that I would have it. Within 1 to 2 minutes, the rainbow came back just as beautiful as before. And I nudged Megan and said, "Hey, look what I did." So we're both giggling, and then a second rainbow came over. So we had this magnificent double rainbow. We were giggling, and people were coming out of their rooms and taking pictures and so on. I knew I had created those rainbows because I wanted to. I also knew that I could not do it again because it would just be a trick to see if I could do it again. But the message I received from that experience was that if I could co-create a rainbow or 2 rainbows with God, I could co-create my own healing. And I did. I learned, however, that sometimes we forget. So when I came back, but I want to tell you this other story first. I love the story of the man who had this magnificent garden. He had fruit trees and vegetables and every kind of flower. It was just fabulous. And one day, one of his friends came over to look at his garden, and he wandered all around, and then he came back to his friend finally and said, "Oh," he said, "you and the Lord have created a most magnificent garden here." And his friend said, "Thank you." And he reflected for a moment, and he said, "But you know, you should have seen this place a few years ago when God had it all by himself." So what I realized is that it's not just that it's possible for us to create miracles, we have the responsibility to create them. just thought that maybe my powerful prayers were relegated to finding parking places when I needed them, you know. That's kind of cool. But I think we have the responsibility to use prayer for healing. The thing is, sometimes we forget. So when I was back, and I was driving to one of my many doctor's appointments, and I was really worried. It probably had to do with whether it's probably the neurologist, whether my head was ever going to be normal again. And so I'm on the freeway, and I'm praying, and then I'm fretting. And then I'm praying, and then I'm fretting. And then I'm praying, and I'm back to worrying. And finally, I notice in front of me, there is this huge truck with this very big sign on the back of it that says, "Fear knocked on the door, love answered, and there was no one there." I had to laugh at myself because God had to put the sign right in front of my nose in order for me to know that all was well and all would be well. And it was. Oh, I created my own definition of miracle. My own definition is the instantaneous recognition of life's perfection. The instantaneous recognition of life's perfection. Because that's what happens when we see a miracle. Oh, that's the way life is. That's the way it should be. That's the way it is. And that's when we're healed. So I'd like you to declare with me 3 things. The first one is, I am a miracle and I create miracles. I am a miracle and I create miracles. The second is, I forgive myself for not knowing this sooner. And the third is, I responsibly plant seeds and harvest miracles for myself and others. I responsibly plant seeds and I harvest miracles for myself and for others. Thank you. Thank you so much.